Yeah, how's everybody doing? It's Saturday the 20th of November 2009, and it's in the middle of the afternoon, and the rain has stopped, weather's picked up a wee bit, and I hope everybody's having a nice weekend as far as possible. I've just put a couple of links up, and the first link I put up is a very interesting article in today's Times, the English Times, and it's talking about Dubai and the problems it faces it. And the reason when this sort of news broke on Thursday first, the reason I picked up on it is because I live not far from the Curragh here, the Curragh Kildare, and obviously it's horse country, and within a stone's throw of me here, Sheikh Mohammed, who's the ruler of Dubai, and his brother Sheikh Maktoum Al Maktoum, they own studs all over the place here, and they have shares in stallions, and they own broodmares and all the rest of it. So that's what was of interest to me, because you know, if things do get very difficult for them in Dubai, I just wonder, would it have, I presume it would impinge on this whole thoroughbred thing that they're involved in, and they might start selling these horses off and curtail their involvement in the whole thoroughbred business. And I think that given Ireland's all the problems we have in Ireland, would just be another problem, just be an added problem. Hopefully it won't happen, but the article that I put from the Times, it's just very interesting. I think really it's not by accident that they have this religious holiday called the Eid, or the Eid it's called, and it started on Thursday, and they waited until this holiday was beginning until they made the announcement that there were difficulties. And when they made the announcement, 3 announcements have come out that I can see so far. The first announcement said that they wanted to defer these payments for 1 month, and on Friday they said they wanted to defer the payments for 4 months, and then I think today they're talking about they need deferment of 6 months. So it doesn't look good, it doesn't read good, and I think there's a lot more behind it than is what's obvious and what's just up front. So we have to wait for this Eid or Eid to end and see what effect it's going to have on their markets. It didn't have a good effect on the financial markets in New York yesterday, and it didn't have a good effect on Thursday on the English markets, the London market, because they're exposed to a lot of it. But they're obviously not telling the truth, because they're saying their exposure, their overall exposure, is something like the bank's exposures is something like 88 billion to this, and they're saying that's the amount of money that's involved in this whole interplay between Dubai and the international banks. But $88 million is only 55 billion euros, and that doesn't seem right to me, because that's the sort of money little Ireland is borrowing off the European central banks to deal with our normal problem, and I think it probably is a lot more. Anyway, the other thing that I hopefully I won't go into around here, but I just want to deal with it very, very briefly, is an article in the Irish Times, and it's done by a freelance journalist this time. It's not done by one of the ongoing correspondents within the Irish group, the Irish Times group. It's done by a lady called Mary Rafferty. I don't know who Mary is, but all party of Mary. It's the first upfront article that I've seen about this obscenity that's going on within the Catholic Church, about these paedophile priests and this child abuse scandal, and involving these bishops and archbishops and cardinals. And it's the first really upfront article that I've seen. So as I say, all party Mary for. I put the link for it down there. Have a read of it. Get a strong cup of tea when you're reading the article, because she doesn't mince words. And the final thing I just want to say about it is, because I have to control myself here, because I tend to lose it when I deal with this thing, because I don't want to sort of blow my own trumpet, but I had dealings with these people when I was a little boy growing up in the back streets of Belfast, in West Belfast. I was educated by these people from I was 4.5 until I was 12, and then from I was 12 until I was 17. The first, from I was 4.5 till I was 12, I was educated by De La Salle brothers, monsters, absolute monsters. And then I was educated by priests, diocesan priests, and order priests, Jesuits and Benedictines and various people were all brought along. And but the first crowd that I dealt with, the De La Salle brothers, that's the only way to describe them, they were monsters. That's what they were. There was only 2 organisations that I ever saw in my life dole out physical violence, I mean serious physical violence, to children on the back streets of Belfast. And one of them was the Catholic Church and the other was the IRA. I never saw anybody else deal out physical violence to children, young people. But I saw both those organisations do it. And it made me seriously aware and seriously cognizant of the direction that both those organisations were going in, both politically, socially and financially and every other way. And when I became 17 and I became a reasonably cogent thinker, I rejected Catholicism and I rejected physical violence in a political sense. So you know where I'm coming from here, okay? And I just want to admire this woman, Mary Rafferty, for her outspoken, as I say, it's one of the first outspoken articles. Doesn't hold any punches, hold back anything. And I think it's definitely worth a read. And the final thing I just want to say about it, and I'll wind it up because I've ranted on about it in other video clips that I've made, and I've lost my temper and everything. I don't want to do that today. I just want to say there's something wrong with the character of the Irish people. When families knew that this was going on in families, that you had mothers and fathers and grandas and uncles and grandies and all the extended family members knew that children were being abused by these Catholic priests, and that the bishops knew about it, and they didn't take any proactive stance in the whole thing. So it's a sad reflection in our society, and by that I mean they didn't picket churches, they didn't picket Dáil, they didn't do, well, not Dáil, you wouldn't want to picket Dáil specifically. You'd want to address the miscreants, you'd want to address the people up front, you'd want to go down to the Bishop's Palace and stand outside it with a placard, and you know, even if you're on your own, it doesn't matter. You're doing something positive. Hand out leaflets, say, this man here, he protects paedophiles in here. He's having his roast duck tonight. Right? And little women are going in and cleaning out his toilet bowl and all for him. The little women that look after their palaces that they live in. That's what they're called, palaces they live in. Anyway, go down on a Sunday morning, pick at the churches. Say, this man in here giving you your host, celebrating the rebirth of Christ. Alright? He's a paedophile. He abuses young children. Alright? I never heard of anybody doing it. I never read about anybody doing it. And I never seen anybody doing it. So it augurs badly for us as a society that we would let that go on for 50 years. And it augurs even worse that we knew that all the, as I said before, the judiciary, the guards, the medical profession, the lawyers, the education department, all, they all knew that was going on and did shit all about it. So, sad reflection on us. We should hang our head in shame, and we should never get up on a moral high ground about anybody or anything. Okay? And the final thing that I want to deal with is I've been asked by several people, one in particular, a man called Charles, and he'll know who it is. He's emailed me twice about this, and he wants to know what the difference is between a republic and a democracy. You know, modern republics, modern life. What's the difference? So I'm going to have to give over a snippet. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'll have a think about it, and I know basically what I'm going to say, but I just want to have a wee think about it, and I'll get back to you. Okay. Good luck. Have a nice weekend.